Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long goes 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long goes 1975.
This is Lotus Turbo Challenge on the Atari ST, released by Gremlin Graphics in 1990. There are 3 iterations of this game, oddly enough, Lotus 1, 2 and 3, and you're probably familiar with it because this was a game changer on the 16 bits back in the day, on the Amiga and Atari ST I should say, because, well, it did come out on console, but it wasn't really kind of like this. But you know what I mean. Anyway, I have played this on the Amiga, so I thought it's only fair that I have a go at this on the Atari ST to see how it compares. I'm assuming it's the same game. Well, I say that, but I think that the Amiga has more tracks. I'm not sure. But it's the same game, but the Atari ST has weaker music, which I can confirm that, and I'll probably be changing the music to sound effects for in-game. It's a 1 or 2 player simultaneous racer, but when you play it one player, obviously the bottom half of the screen is covered up. I'm really not sure why they did it or left it like that when they could have done full screen, and they do full screen in the other versions. But it's a small pick. Or nit to pick, because as I said, this got very, very well received back in the day, even on the 8-bits, because it came out on the Spectrum, which I have a gameplay of, and I think it's shite, but apparently it was voted the 17th best Spectrum game of all time in your Sinclair. A lot of retards out there, a lot of retards, but yeah, there's an Amstrad version which is support the Spectrum. I may or may not have played that, depending upon when I make this live, but yeah, and there's a Commodore 64 version. Now, I absolutely love Lotuses, I really do, mainly because of James Bond. And the Esprit, which is this, but that's not this one in that movie or in the Bond movies, is my favourite Lotus. They made this from what, 1970 something up to 2004, and there was a beast of a V8 twin turbo. It is fiberglass though, of course, and what does Lotus stand for? Because their reliability was shite, and still is shite to be fair. Lots of trouble, usually serious. Anyway, let's get into this. Right, so, fire. Hello. Awkward pauses. Loading time, I think. I can't stay mad at you, Lotus. I like this. I really did like this on the Amiga. This set a standard, and also it was one of the few games those of us who had Mega Drive and shit back in the day would acknowledge as being a fantastic game, you know, on the Amiga and Atari ST. And my brother did have it back in the day when I had my Mega Drive, and yeah, I admit it was good. Right, so you have a number of controls where it's up is accelerate, down is gears are automatic. And then no, they're not. Read it. Look, fire faster, down slower, push up a gear. Yeah, we're not. Oh yeah, your accelerator, I think, is on all the time. I don't know. Right, fire. We're not going with any of that. Easy. 7 races. Apparently there are pits in this, and you have to refuel. It's never actually happened to me, but then I've only ever touched the surface of this on the Amiga. Number of players 1. Player 1. Manual gears. Computerized gears. Otherwise known as automatic. Normal control, alternative control, which means we press backwards to brake, but accelerate is fire, which therefore means we don't compromise our controls by having to steer and accelerate at the same time. Now, I'm going to turn the music off because it is nowhere near as good as the Amiga, which you would expect. It'll be interesting to see when I play this on the Amstrad, or have I? Can't remember about this Spectrum. If it's the same, because didn't they all share an AY chip? Anyway, right, so we want that. We press fire. Right, so that means that we've got sound effects. Music, different track. It's not terrible. It's just once you've experienced the dizzying highs of the soundtrack on the Amiga, everything sounds pants. But if you play it with music, you don't get sound effects at the same time, and I absolutely loathe that. I would rather have no music and just sound effects than music and no sound effects. Fire. Course record, I don't care. Nigel main sail. See what you did there. Location, Verona, North Italy. Laps, distance 4 laps, 1.41 miles. Track description and hazards, flat, with gentle curves and no hazards. Sounds like a nice girl. Okay, so bottom of the screen where you see a Lotus, that would be player 2. All my information is top right hand corner. Fortunately, everyone else is white to make me stand out. Okay. Now, it is smooth. Is it as good as the Amiga version? Unless I do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe I'll start doing Amiga versus Atari ST comparisons. Maybe I'll get a white stick, maybe I won't. I don't know. But, to me this seems as smooth as. Because it's so narrow, all versions have this problem, it means it is quite a flat, sort of, you know, racing surface. That's awkward. And it means when stuff is directly in front of you, like, you know, the way the track turns from left to right, I mean, I should say, sorry, is it kind of springs it on you immediately. There's no map in this one. I'm assuming that's my fuel or something to the left, the bottom left of the top screen. Why would you not make it so we're not racing 2-player, you got rid of the bottom screen? Because you can't have done it to keep up speed, because in the other Lotus games when it goes full speed, yeah, it goes Harry Clappers. I forgot I could brake then by just pressing backwards. Your car looks really, really nice. I'm 12th. And it's animated superbly. Are the colours a trifle more bland than the Amiga version? I don't know. Maybe this is just an accurate depiction of Italy in the 90s. It's not a looker of the country, apparently, back then. What was that? Was that a pit? I don't know. Oh. A mirror would be nice. Since you've got this massive car at the bottom of the screen to keep up speed, I really don't think that's why it's there. I would like a mirror, so I can block off everyone else. But, you know, a bit late for that. This game's fucking 30-something years old. Yoink. So yeah, there are Mega Drive and SNES versions of this. Top Gear or something. Now, I'll say this. Controversial? No, not really. This is better. The Amiga and ST versions are better than all of what they cobbled together on the Mega Drive and the SNES. Final lap. So exciting. Are you excited? I'm very excited. Yoink. Yeah, so how the hell, I know this is the ST version, but as I mentioned, how the hell did Lotus on the Spectrum get 17th best game of all time in the Your Sinclair Top 100 Games? Probably because it's Your Sinclair. And when I read it back in the day and quite enjoyed it. 'Twas no Crash magazine. Yoink. It was probably better than Sinclair User, to be fair. That was kind of, until Kamikaze Bear came along, had, you know, a bug crawled up its ass and died. It was a bit too serious. And then they knew that. Yay, look how I've raced off in the distance. It wouldn't happen in real Lotus, I would have broken down on the first lap. That's why he's constantly fixing the car at the bottom. Because it constantly breaks down. They're not that bad now, to be fair, but they were then. Right. 5th. Was there a qualification minimum or something? I don't know. Was that person's first name Harry? Right. Location, Monterey. 5 laps, track and description and hazards. Shallow hills, some roadworks, lane closed. Okay, what? I have no idea what that means. This is loading, by the way, clearly. Oh, look at that, we got undulation. Oh yeah, the undulation this is pretty good actually. You just don't get it on the first stage. And we got some more colour, some colour I should say. And why are there rabbits on the side of the road for like repairs? Probably because we're all racing Lotuses. Sigh. Yoink. Can you only be... I'm confusing this. Isn't... In one of these games, are you allowed to race it in the LAN? The newer LAN, not the original LAN. Which was a very square car. And warped in the heat, apparently. It was a Lotus from the 90s. It was a different time. That's lane closed. Always going Harry Clappers. This has got some proper speed going on. The problem with it is I'm just not braking. I'm fearless, is what it is. I'm fearless. Oh! Brake. We'll brake on that one. So yeah, look it up. I mean, Chase HQ was 1990. I'm a fan of Chase HQ on the Amiga and the Atari ST. Although I say that, I've played on the Atari ST, but I haven't done a gameplay because the car seems to lose control far reason it does on the Amiga. Let me rephrase that. I'm a fan of Chase HQ on the Amiga. It gets a lot of flack, but it's a really good port, and the road effects are very, very decent. I would say, is this better? Well, that's full screen. It's a different type of game as well, I am aware of that. Oh, break! But, the full screen version of this is clearly technically better. When we get to the sequels, I should say. Well, I think of, oh, look at that! The undulation, different game. But yeah, Chase HQ, I know this isn't about Chase HQ, gets a lot of shit on the Amiga. It's clearly miles better than the PlayStation, the PC Engine version. Everyone goes on about how good the PC Engine version is. It isn't. It's shit. I'm a massive fan of the PC Engine, and I can say that. It's shit. But Outrun is a far better port, with decent road effects, undulation and stuff like that, and on the PC Engine. But comparing Chase HQ on the Amiga to the PC Engine, it's Chase HQ on the Amiga every day of the week. Let me know what you think. I know this is about Lotus, but hey, I'm going to see if I can play all of these as well for comparison videos, but that depends on whether or not they all work. ATARI ST emulation on my Super Console X is a bit weird. Either works perfectly or it takes you straight to the desktop and you can't do anything. Because mice don't work on this. He's second. Come on, come on. He's first. Oh, no participation. Oh, Shizen. Come on. Fuck balls. I was going to say no participation medal for me, but to be fair, I'm second, so I can live with that. See, if I broke a bit more, or braked, I should say, no smoking at the bottom, see that, because your car will melt. Yeah, a bit, you know, more prevalent with the braking. I might have won, but I'll take that. Look at that. Now, where was that bloke? T. Harry Boots on. Harry Boots on. Mr. Carver, I see what you did there with all the names. Crash Hard Banger. Right. Course record, blah, 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 5 laps, steeper hills and sharp bends, extra fuel needed. Right, I'm going to fuck up here, because I don't know how you pit in, pit out. Maybe it's obvious. Maybe there'll be like a pit lane, it's really obvious. I'm hoping that, that's why I'm saying it out loud. I'm feathering it here because I don't want to run straight into the back of someone, but to be fair, that doesn't really make much difference, does it? Signs telling me which way the road goes would be nice. Oh look, who knew that not going flat out? I've just realised there are signs. My bad. Not going flat out is helpful. I say that, I'm still 18. But I passed a few. 2, is it? There's still 2. Oh, that's good undulation. That's good undulation, boy. Be interesting to see how these games progress on the Atari ST, dependent upon whether or not they actually work. I shouldn't, you know, count my chickens yet. On the 15th. Right. I'm keeping my eye out. Apologise for the background noise. I live on the busiest road in the West Country. Just pretend it's the noise of the cars inevitably passing me because I'm Shizen. This has got better undulation than Chase HQ, but it would be nice to see it full screen, you know. Take it in proper, like. Right, that is my fuel then, is it? Bottom left of the top screen. Keeps sounding weird to say that. Bottom left of the top screen. The game field. The game screen, if you will. They're not, here's a pointless pretty picture of a Lotus in case you forgot what you're driving or didn't look at the box art or the title screen, or, you know, aren't British and therefore are retarded as well and can't remember what a Lotus looks like. Because this is a very famous car. Probably why they licensed it, to be fair. Get out of my way, White Lotus. Hey, you're the bad guy from the first level of Chase HQ. You're accurate. A white British sports car. A Lotus. And a stubborn fucker as well. Hey! I'm braking. I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Where is the pit? There isn't a pit. This is going to end in tears. By all means, let me know where I'm going wrong by, you know, basically running my car out of petrol. Because, you know, it's been a while. I don't retain knowledge. I'm not a knowledge sponge, alright? Oh! Trust me, you're thinking that the noises in this is like irritating. You don't want the music on with no sound effects. That is irritating. Unless you're playing it on the Amiga, in which case you do, because it's tasty and delicious. So, the more the red goes up, is my fuel being spent, which is the complete opposite of how an actual fuel gauge works. Right, there's that little bit on the right here. No, that's not a pit then. Do I have to stop? Surely not. So I have to get in that little bit and then brake. I can hear a million people screaming at me that that's, well, no, probably two. That's not the pit, Dave. No. I'm going to try it again though, out of curiosity. Yoink. That's a really nice effect. A really steep undulation. Not everyone goes all in on that. Talking bollocks, I'm aware of that. It's charming. Just write it off, it's charming. Right. Okay, I'm out of fuel, aren't I? Because we've all driven a car that beeps when you're out of fuel, haven't we? Right. Yay! Is it? Well, that's how you refuel. Now, obviously, did I have to refuel? Could I have scraped it in? Because I'm 15th again. Possibly, then, some level of strategy is in order here. Get a couple of laps in, like literally to refuel. Oh, because we're fucked now. Is that going to take that into consideration? Oh, my wheel's fucked as well now? Right. I can't help but think, that's not fuel then, is it? No, fuel's on the right above the number, I've just realised that. Is that heat on the left? Like, do I have to worry about other stuff other than running out of drink? Race over. Is that because I'm last or because I overheated my car? Don't know. But I would say this is pretty much on par with the Amiga version. It's just the sound, or the music I should say, is a bit shizened. Anyway, I'd love to know what... I don't even know what word that was. Anyhow, I'd love to know what you thought of this back in the day. If you played it on the Atari ST, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.